how have we come from this, a rugged plastic and metal box with a borrowed engine, to the likes of NIO and Lixiang and BYD in just 10-15 years is beyond me. That belongs to the history book, and we shall see about that.
文明对金木，五颜六色看清楚，造物主来填补，贪婪的就像是一种病毒。I'm a po， I'm a po， yeah yeah， 给我一点时间，就在今夜。
This is Wuling Hongguang. As you can see, it's not a brand new car. Actually, this car is 10 years old. We're shooting this car because a while ago, someone was asking me to shoot actual workman's mobile. And this is the workman's mobile in China. This car was so famous, it went on to the cover of the Forbes magazine in 2009. And that was the year when the car was released. It went on to sell over 97,000 vehicles of this model in 1 month. And that is a record this car is still holding right now. Back in 2009, the car market in China is much, much smaller than what it is right now. The best-selling 3 models of BYD put together is still less than what this car was selling back then. And we actually bought this car secondhand. So the owner of this car owned it for over 10 years. Originally, it cost more than 30,000 RMB, and now we bought it for 3,000, and that's less than $500 US. Actually, this car is everywhere. So if you just look around, there's one just over there. It's not as popular as it was back in the 2010s, but still you can see this car everywhere in China, across big cities and rural areas. And let me tell you why. First of all, as I just told you, this car is cheap, brand new. It cost less than 30,000 back then, and the latest model costs less than 50,000 RMB right now. Secondly, this car is versatile. This car has a really short nose, as you can see, and there's a 1.4 liter engine in there, and it has 102 horsepower when new. Right now, it probably has 80 or each left. The whole car is only 4.3 meters long, but it is really roomy inside because it doesn't really have anything other than what's necessary. Now, if we move on to the side, you have these 16-inch alloys, and then you have a boxy minivan kind of style. If we open door, now listen to this. This is what a lot of people fancy on a Mercedes G-Wagon. Now, if we go inside of the car, right, as you can see, this car hasn't been cleaned for a while, really. It's got a 5-speed manual gearbox. It's got a manual handbrake. It's got a manual window that you need to roll. And you've got a radio here and manual air conditioning. That's pretty much it. Now, this steering wheel is quite big. It feels really plastic. Well, it's made of plastic. It doesn't really come with electric assisted steering. Steering itself is really, really hard. Now, I was backing up in a rugged road, and it actually, to me, that was really a workout. We'll show you in a bit how it feels. Second row of the car, this seat can be like leaned back about 180 degrees, so you can make yourself comfortable in here. It can be removed quite easily. As you can see, they're just basically bolted onto the floor that can be removed by yourself, really. This is a 5-seater version. You can have this car as a 7-seater as well. You basically have another row of these, and obviously that kind of reduces the cargo place. This seat is an individual seat. What you can do is you can fold it, and then with this lever here, put it straight up, so you have a gap to walk inside of the back there. Really convenient, right? Now, as you can see, the back of the car is really roomy. With the second row fold down, you have more than 1,500 liters of storage space. And this space is really versatile because the car, although it's not that wide, it's only 1.7 meters with width, is 1.7 meters tall as well. So you can put a lot of high clearance stuff in here as well and stacking stuff up. The previous owner has been using this as a cargo car. The load bearing of this car is over 1 ton. Let's take this car onto the road for a spin. As I told you, there's no electrically assisted steering. So this is me trying to back up. Let's go. Now, I haven't had a manual car for a while. I've kind of missed the fun of, having to change gear yourself. This car has the engine actually underneath me, so it's a mid-engine rear-wheel drive, just like a Porsche 911. I'm not joking, because someone calls this car the Porsche of China, and it is so famous. Everyone knows this. Some people even said this is an ultimate Chinese car, because this has been the engine of the Chinese economy for over 10 years. Back then, there wasn't so many high-speed railways, and a lot of the cargoes were transported by this. If you're a small farmer or a craftsman, you need your stuff to be transported from your small village to the big city or to a warehouse. And this is what it takes everything around China. Now, visibility of the vehicle, perfect. It's like sitting in a convertible. There's nothing blocking your view, either front, back, or the side, because the front window is so big, and so as the back window over there. The suspension, basically you can feel anything, not just on your bum, on your hand as well, because all these vibration filters through your steering wheel, and that is a weird sensation. Where this car has been in the past 10 years. Have a feel what it actually was like for the previous owner driving this car day in, day out through the countryside of China. And we're actually in the countryside. Well, not too far from the city center. I'm actually salty because I can't really hear myself talking. I don't know whether, that's too much for you. Car brings back a lot of memories for me. I think it's the same for a lot of people of my age, or just over 30 years old right now in China, because this is how we all grew up. My dad used to be selling, fabrics and stuff, and he was driving not one of these, but a big truck across northern China. And I still dream in my dreams that when I was young and I was sitting in the passenger seat and my dad was driving overnight, the clients ordered him to take the cargoes across the country in 2 days whatsoever. I've only driven this car for about 10-20 minutes. I'm literally sweating. People earning a living in this car must have a really hard life. It's the same as the Chinese car industry. How have we come from this, a rugged plastic and metal box with a borrowed engine, to the likes of NIO and Lixiang and BYD in just 10-15 years is beyond me. That belongs to the history book, and we shall see about that. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you subscribe.